Folks. You've been a very good audience and almost too quiet. Usually there's more interplay between the audience and the speaker. And, you know, quiet. Everybody's just curious and well behaved. There you go. All right. Halloween has nothing to do with some of the poems I'm going to do. I'm going to focus on the dead, the dearly departed, because I'm from the very underrated state of Indiana. And in my hometown of Indianapolis, there's a cemetery. It's called Crown Hill Cemetery. And lots of my family are buried there, and some luminaries like John Dillinger and the guy that invented the Gatling gun and president and some other folks. So I'm going to do a couple of my grandfathers and then two luminaries, at least personal ones, and then maybe in the future I'll do my grandmother's. So the first one's Crown Hill Cemetery, my mom's dad. Every so often, my mom says his touch is on me. How he threw me into the air and never let me hit the ground. He was gone before I learned to walk. There's not even a tone of voice or a white t-shirt to remember. In the few surviving photos of him, he looks more like his Prussian ancestors than the Hoosiers we've become. He always knew when prices went up, would set an alarm clock on the breakfast table. The children who failed to finish the oatmeal and castor oil before it rang got a taste of his belt. His only son wears his name on his work uniform, Vernon. A chronic ulcer awarded him a discharge and saved him from being wiped out with the rest of his platoon in the Battle of the Bulge. After he proposed to my grandmother on Christmas Day, he went back to shooting dice. I don't know what else to say. He's buried here on a diagonal line from the Crown Hill Cemetery sign with a flat, regular stone close enough to 38th Street to hear the traffic. Dad's dad. I know very little about him, except that he fell out of a tree as a boy and broke both his arms, so he had to learn how to use them again. He could shoot the front 9 right-handed and the back 9 left-handed. He liked to drink in a tavern and talk it up with the regulars. Never had a job that wasn't worth quitting. His funeral was the first I was ever taken to. My only memory of him is when we visited the restaurant where he was working as a short order cook, and he told me to eat my toast. Shortly before Christmas in 1970, he was found dead in a Kentucky motel, left in the closet, the Do Not Disturb sign on the door, and the only guess as to why involves a man seen leaving his room wearing a cowboy hat. Okay, as a lot of you know, I knew some poets when I was much younger than I was today, and I met a lot of his friends and associates and undesirables, and this is written for one of those guys that I only met once in my life. His name was Chuck White, so this one's called Chuck White. He used to come banging on poets' doors in Philly, Indy, and Memphis in the 50s at 4 or 5 a.m. for the lowdown on the local lingo. Loose cats from Ellington's hip admired how he could befuddle the Sphinx and charm Medusa's snakes. Clubs boarded up during the age of Aquarius, and a bout with Horace cut a comma on his nose and shook loose all of his teeth. He shuffles the faintly lit hallways of the Triple Nickel and bums tobacco from a scribe who sees through stone. The scoop zigzags between his ears like a magic bullet, yet he chatters away, reincarnated under a flimsy lampshade. Fingering the ashes he flicks on the armrest, until he glows. Okay, I got this one, and then I'll see about whatever. This one's another, they're all Crown Hill Cemetery poems. This one's written for a guy named Yank Rachel. In 1990-something, he was the oldest living blues mandolin player alive in the world. Yeah. And he was having his 82nd birthday party that night. So this poem goes back in time to his 82nd birthday party, of which I attended. I later gave him the poem when we were both taking a piss, and he just like, "All right, thank you very much," and he put it in his pocket and walked out. But anyway, Yank Rachel's 82nd birthday party at the Slippery Noodle Inn, Indianapolis, Indiana. He nodded and waved, stared at faces like they were gifts from the Almighty, who had lit 82 candles on his cake. Even though he was past the years of tossing the mandolin in the air and strumming a chord as he caught it, he still fueled the band on train rides he remembered with Sleepy John Estes and Sonny Boy Williamson. The pig he traded for a mandolin that his mother ordered him to raise, he got because he heard that mingling sound and it charmed him. The next year, his mother threatened him, "Next fall, when we're all eating pork, you can eat that mandolin." In a building, once a stop on the Underground Railroad, a brothel, a hangout for the Dillinger Gang, he plucked strings and sang, "I gotta go, 'cause she's done thrown my cap out the door." His granddaughter played bass, a university ace, hopscotched the solos he couldn't lick anymore. He cut his first single, Diving Duck, in 1929, the same year Robert Johnson documented the Devil's work. When race records were rationed during the Depression, he returned to Brownsville, Tennessee, and paid the rent by playing fish fries. B.B. King once laid 5 $20 bills at his feet. Some say his nature to fit in with the band kept him from becoming one of the larger legends. He co-wrote She Caught the Katy and Left Me a Mule to Ride with Taj Mahal. In later years, he played electric. If he didn't, he'd break too many strings. Laughter, sighs, his torchlit eyes carried the lyrics to an open window. If anyone don't like the blues, they got a hole in their soul. That's enough for me. Thank you guys all very much.